When it comes to doing sets that have 3 different sets in the Venn diagram, you need to take each piece of information and write it down. Okay, so with this, a survey was taken during a group of 44 students, each of whom are studying one or more of the 3 subjects. So each of them are studying at least one. That is telling me that there isn't anyone that isn't studying any of them, so there's no one going to go on the outside of the 3 circles. With that piece of information, the 44, the first thing that you do with it is once you've drawn your Venn diagram out, that's the box with the 3 circles, you're going to do the cardinal number of the universal set is 44. So that means there can't be any more than 44 people in that box when you add them all up together. I'm then going to just read this piece of information. 28 studied history. So you take the piece of information and you put it into your diagram. So there's history, geography and art. So I'm going to go H, G and A, history, geography and art. 28 studied history, so in brackets put in 28. 30 studied geography and 22 study art. Okay, so that's what it's telling me from that first column, okay, 28, 30 and 22. I'm now going to read these 3 pieces of information, but I'm going to go from the bottom up simply because it's saying 3 students studied all 3. That goes in the intersection of all 3. We're going to put 3 in the center. Okay, so I've used all of this piece of information. I've used this bottom one down here. It then says 15 students studied both history and geography. This is history and geography all inside here. Okay, history and geography has to be a total of 15. If I put 15 directly inside there would be a total of 18 people that studied history and geography. So if I need 15 in total, I need to take away the 3, so that means there's 12 inside there. And the final piece of information is 6 students study history only. So you would have looked at this before. For history, in these overlapping sections, they're ones that study more than just history, but history only is 6. Okay. It is also telling me in the question, just the very last sentence, hint, let X represent a number of students who study geography and art, but not history. Geography and art is here, but not history. Cover it. And that has to be X. Now we can just work away with the information that we've been given and start working it out. There are 28 people in total that are meant to be inside here. I've only one piece of information that I'm missing. So basically, if I add these up and take it away from 28, I'll see what's missing. So grab 28 on your calculator, take away 6, take away the 12 and take away the 3. And that means there's 7 people that study history and art, but not geography. That's what that means. So that's the 28 people accounted for, done. I now need to account for the 30 people in geography. So with this, I've accounted for 15 people already, but I need to account for that X. So in calculating geography, which is 30, I need to take away the 15 people I've already been talking about and that X there. 30 minus 15 is 15. Can't do anything with the X, so I still leave it there as minus X. So just geography only is 15 minus X. And finally, we look at the last set, and that's art, which is 22. So art has 22 people in it, and we have to take away what's already there. So with the 22, I have to take away the 7, I have to take away the 3, and I have to take away the X. That's 22 minus 10 really. 22 minus 10 is 12 minus the X. And I just write that in as the students that just do art is 12 minus X. We were asked in the question, so part 1 of the question of question 9 on page 56, we were told, use the Venn diagram to find the number of students who studied history and geography but not art. So we need to find the value of X. That's what it's asking me to do. But I know when I add up all of these numbers, it has to be equal to 44. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add up all of those numbers and it should be equal to 44, and I'm going to form an equation. So I'm going to do this in pen. 6 plus 12 plus 7 plus 3, so that's all of that, plus 15 minus x, plus x, so that's all that done, plus the 12 minus x, and that all has to be equal to 44. So I'm literally just adding up all of those numbers. Now, we can only add like terms together, which means we can only add all of those numbers together. Grab your calculator, 6 and 12 and 7 and 3 and 15 and 12 is 55. So I've included all of those numbers, every one of them. I now need to add up the x's. So there's a plus x, minus x, they cancel. And all that's left is the minus x there. And that's equal to 44. When doing these questions, you have an equation, you want to get letters on one side, numbers on the other side. So letters to the left, numbers to the right. I'm just going to show that in a different colour. Letters equals to numbers. The x is on the left, so it stays where it is. The 44 is on the number side, so that stays where it is, but the 55 needs to move. So that becomes minus 55. And we have minus x is equal to minus 11. Two minuses change to plus, which means the value of x is 11. You can go back onto this now if you like and start calculating what the other values are. So if that's 11, this will be 12 minus 11, which is 1. And that will be 15 minus 11, which is 4. Okay, and that's what you need to do when it comes to the three different Venn diagrams and you don't know one of the values. You have to take each piece of information, as you've been told in the question. Always put in the intersection first. Okay, sometimes you know what the intersection is, like in this question. Sometimes you don't know what the intersection is, and the intersection could be x. In which case you'd have to take away x from everything, and it makes the question a little bit longer. We're not finished just yet. I've only done part 1, which was finding the value of geography and art, but not history, which is 11. So we've got that. So part 2 of the question is how many students studied history and art, but not geography? History and art are these two, but not geography. You cover geography, that's 7 people. And finally, the last part of the question is find the number of students who studied geography only. So these are the onlys. Okay, 6 only studied history, 1 only studied art, but 4 only studied geography. Okay, and in doing this, obviously the hardest part is doing the Venn diagram and using it in terms of x. But as I say, take each piece of information as it arrives on the text that you're given in the question and put it in piece of information by piece of information. Once you've that done, it's going to make it so much easier.